Okay, we'll go to debate question 2, and that will be for Trent. First, the background. A couple of candidates have already mentioned it. As part of the Downtown Core Revitalization Strategy, there's a proposal for building 3 large multi-level parking garages. It's a proposal. And basically it would be in order to service visitor car parking in the downtown Hermosa area. I'll just list the parking areas really quick and then ask the question. So the first one, proposed one, is parking lot A, and that is a city parking lot. It is directly south of Pier Plaza. It's on the corner of 11th and Hermosa Avenue in the downtown area. It's a surface parking lot right now. Parking lot 2, which is proposed, is a multi-level parking structure proposed for the newly constructed Civic Center at the current City Hall location, 1315 Valley Drive. That is this location right here. So there's a new Civic Center with parking structure underneath, possibly. Third parking structure possibly would be proposed for the city-owned land directly west of the community center, which is right over here at PCH and Pier Avenue, a possibility there. So I'll ask debate question 2, and that will be for Trent. What's your opinion regarding the financing and construction of 3 large multi-level parking structures in order to service visitor car parking in the Hermosa Beach downtown area? Trent?
Thank you. Well, this is a 2-part answer to this question, and there's no doubt about it that Hermosa Beach in general needs more parking. How do we finance this, and what types of structures are to be built are the really 2 main questions. In terms of the financing, since we really don't have the revenue stream to finance very large parking structures up here above the pier, here at City Hall and above the community center, I would be in more favor of a public-private partnership whereby as we lease the land to a private company that then builds the structure for parking, and then we collect revenue as part of that agreement, because that will save us putting our money down into the project, and it will allow a professional company through our vetted bid process to build these parking structures. Now, having said that, I would like to see parking structures that have facilities on top of them. One of my current customers, Loyola Marymount, built a beautiful parking structure with a soccer field of grass on top of it, and it works wonderfully. So we can build parks and play spaces on top of parking structures like the tennis courts that are proposed up here on Upper Pier. As far as it goes on downtown, down by the pier, I'm not in favor of another tall, cement concrete parking structure like we have already. I would be in favor, if we're going to put parking down there, to go underground, to go down in the ground. There are some really unique designs that have been built and put in Japan. They're talking about them in San Francisco and other parts.
Summarize.
Where you can pull in, your car gets parked automatically. It's all mechanical, and you don't have to do anything, and then it comes right back up to you. So that's the kind of thing, a first-class parking structure for a first-class city in downtown Hermosa Beach.
Thanks, Trent. Pete?
Thank you. The Roma report sends some confusing messages. At one point it says we need more parking, hence we need 3 giant parking structures. And then you flip to another page and it says we need more bicycle-friendly environment downtown. So what do we want? Do we need more parking downtown? I've lived here my entire life. Parking has always been a problem. It will always be a problem. The more we build, the more they come, the more impact we'll have on our city services. So we have to decide what is too much or not enough. We need to collaborate with one of our hotel developers are coming in. There's a possibility that Lot A, which is on 11th Street, could come into some kind of a discussion with that developer, but I've always said that regardless of what they want, we're going to get something in return. I propose that maybe on the top of their structure they have a community business center, and the rest of that deck is open space for outdoor community events. Down below, possibly restrooms, bicycle racks, and amenities that would benefit our community. But really, how much parking do we really need? The parking structure or proposal possibly at where the lock-in store is south of City Hall
Summarize, Pete.
could handle 200 cars, which would encourage people to walk from here to the downtown. But really the question is, what is the amount of parking we need in our downtown area to just to sustain the quality of life we, the residents, want. Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Justin?
Thanks again. I'll tell you what I do and don't support. I don't support 3 structures on the beach side of Hermosa Avenue. Multi-level parking should be at the community center or at Upper Pier because it's beach walkable and it will create foot traffic coming and going to the beach to all of our downtown businesses. Having people drive right through our business district, park on the beach, and walk out on the sand is not the kind of smart development we need to provide the foot traffic we need to sustain local businesses. Additionally, the property down there is far too valuable economically and socially. For example, Lot A, which is the lot behind Bank of America, would be much better developed into something like Metlock's Plaza in Manhattan Beach than a 3-story parking structure. Parking structures belong on Upper Pier. The only exception would be Lot D, which is on Manhattan Avenue behind the Underground. That would be the one exception downtown or close to the beach that may be appropriate for a parking structure. But a large parking structure should be at Community Center or somewhere at the top of Pier Avenue.
Thanks, Justin.
I also am not a fan of the parking structures in the downtown area. As I said before, I would much rather see us have subterranean parking like a Metlock's Plaza up here at City Hall and at the community center. If you look through that report, I'd be concerned about what some of the strings that are attached with SB 628, which is the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing Districts, how the city's going to get money to help pay for some of these things. I would like to know what comes along with that when the city gets that money. I would imagine there's going to be some strings attached to it, and we need to know what those would be.
Thank you, Ken. Jeff?
Yeah, thank you, Al. I joined with Pete's comment about some of the inconsistencies in this report, and one of them is the fact that they want to virtually double the parking inventory and car volume at the same time reduce vehicle trips. It's a little confusing. But I have what I have a problem with is this major problem with this new mechanism of state funding, which they're proposing to use to pay for this parking. And it's a form of redevelopment funding, and redevelopment funding from the state is and always has been intended for revitalizing blighted and neglected business areas. So the question is really, do we really want to use all of these allocations that we can get from the state for enhancing infrastructure financing to fund downtown-centric parking? And I don't believe so. To do so at a continued expense for areas that such funding was intended for, like Cypress Avenue maybe, aviation, PCH, business districts we've never improved and which look it. We've been redeveloping the downtown and most recently the Pier Avenue extension for about 25 years now, while essentially ignoring the rest of the city. And if you look at the list of recently approved capital improvements, the vast majority are west of PCH. Non-downtown sales tax revenue is just short of $2 million a year. Downtown generated about $800,000. Imagine what it might look like if we put some effort into improving these other areas.
Thanks, Jeff.